Hi, hello, how are you? And welcome to another speed build. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. First of all, this house is super tacky. But if it makes you feel any better, that was the goal. Second of all, I went through so many, you'll see a little bit in the beginning. I went through so many different versions of houses before I finally settled on just the shape alone of what this house was going to be. And there's more footage of other builds that I started and then got sick of that didn't end up being the house in this video. Because I kept seeing, I had so many ideas, and then there were some things that I just couldn't do because of the way things have to be built in The Sims. And then there were some things where it looked better in my mind than it did when I actually built it, like this trellis thing. And then I was just like, you know what? Whenever I build things, I always try to build them super, super carefully, and I'm really concerned with how everything looks, and I don't know, I just wanted to do something a little different, and so I decided I was going to build with as much of my favorite color as possible. And in case you didn't notice by my YouTube banner or my end card, my favorite color is mint green. So I was like, let's throw some mint green all over everything. In the end, it ends up being a lot more toned down than I had initially planned. I was going to make everything that had a mint option mint. So it was going to be very hard to look at, and it got hard for me to look at even building it. So I ended up toning it down. I also ended up bringing, not a lot, but I think a decent bit of yellow into the build, especially upstairs, just because I like the way the particular shade of mint that they have in-game and one of the darker yellows look together. These look so nice. Also, I wanted this to be another smaller house, which if you watched my the speed build of my little cabin, my Christmas cabin type thing, Alpine Cheer, then you know I have a hard time building small builds, and so I've been trying to build more small things. And so I was like, hey, let's build this small, but then I also made it a weird shape. It's like this weird lightning bolt squared off thing, and I spent forever just staring at it like, what am I going to do to furnish this? I didn't know where to put anything. I couldn't even begin to think of how to section it off as rooms. I don't know. But I figured it out. You'll see. And then I also wanted it to be I didn't want to have a particular style. I wanted it to be the person I picture living in this house is someone that just kind of collects things, and they just kind of go with the flow. And if they like something, they get it. Doesn't really matter if it goes with everything else they have. It's just very eclectic, but not so eclectic in the way that, they're not going for a bohemian theme. It's not that kind of eclectic. It's just they just gather things that they like, and that's what they throw in their house. And they also very, very much like mint. So, yeah. But what I end up doing is I end up kind of using corners. I turn the kitchen into kind of a one-sided kitchen, and I put under the stairs, you'll see I put the dining room table, which is also doubling as a desk. I put a longer table, so the computer's on it, and there's a chair for it, and then the chair on the end of the table is where I would imagine the Sims would eat. I actually almost made the kitchen smaller than it is, but I realized didn't realize, but I thought, I was like, hey, you should probably have a counter so your Sims can even cook. So it ended up being what it is. I also, with this house, because I was kind of doing that very found aesthetic and just kind of embracing how tacky it is, I went wild with the clutter. I was like, let's just clutter the heck out of this house, which also contributed to it being more expensive. I think the Alpine Cheer cabin build was around 30,000 simoleons, and I'm not sure what this one ended up being, but I was expecting it to be a lot. Well, not a lot less, but I was expecting it to be on the lower end because it's so small. But that didn't happen because I wanted all the mint, first of all, and second of all, I just wanted to throw some clutter around. I also, when we get to the outside, to the landscaping space, I really wanted it to be a very green space. Not just mint green, but green as in plants. So I just kind of threw a lot of plants around. Also, you'll notice I built this on a 30 by 20 lot, but the house is really small, and I didn't want to do some major landscaping, like do the whole lot. So this build as it is fits better on like a 20 by 20 lot. So do with that what you will. But I thought about making like this elaborate fountain. Like somehow this person, like they had this little house and they poured all their money into some elaborate fountain, but I decided not to do that. I really, really like the first floor. Like, look at it. It looks like you were online and, you know, the ads that just show up on the sides of websites, you just bought everything you saw. Every time an ad came up, you're like, ooh, look at that. And then you bought it. Especially, I did a gallery wall going up the stairs, and it's just a mix and matching of all different sizes of pictures, all different subject matter of pictures. It's just insane. Speaking of the ads, I don't know if anyone else has been doing that or having this weird occurrence, but my ads, because they track your browser cookies. So normally it's ads that like at least are related to things that you're interested in. Like I get a lot of Sims 4 ads, obviously. I also sometimes get, you know, those creepy things. It's like, hey, I think like I definitely didn't search that, but now I have an ad for it kind of thing. Get those. But lately I've been getting ads for things I would never, ever be interested in and definitely couldn't afford. Like I got an ad for Jimmy Choo and I was like, Google if you think I can afford Jimmy Choo. I'm sorry. That's not happening. And I'm also 100% not interested. I'm good. So I don't know why the ads thought I was interested in that. But I don't know. I just keep getting weird ads like that just don't match anything. I don't know. But back to the build. I was going to add a lot more clutter in this little kitchen. But again, with the counter space, since there's only 2 counters and one of them has the sink in it, I decided to just go with the little cat statue and the knife block. Also, the upstairs is kind of like a lofted second floor almost. I really like that style. You walk up the stairs and you're in the bedroom. Not like you walk upstairs, there's a hallway, there's a bedroom. I don't know. Also, I love this bed and I never have occasion to use it. This little yellow and blue metal frame bed makes my life. I don't think there's not a large version of that metal frame bed, is there? No, I don't think so. And that drives me insane. There are a lot of beds. Well, there's not a lot of beds in general, but there are quite a few beds that I just really like the twin size, but I want it to be a full size. Like, come on. Give me every bed you give me as a twin, give me as a double bed. Go for it. I want it. The bathroom, again, went for the, like, tacky. I used one of the Parenthood showers, and I was like, this looks like this house was built in the now I can't think of the era, but what decade was it? You know what I'm talking about. It doesn't matter. The decade where everything was just like wildly colorful. The 70s? Is it the 70s? I don't know. But like even the like permanent fixtures were odd colors. So the shower ends up being a mint color. So I was like, let's go mint and tacky all at once and just own it. I also played with the accent walls here because, like, I don't know, like if the bathroom door was open and you're in the bedroom, you'd look in and you'd see a yellow wall, but the whole bathroom's not yellow, and I just think that's pretty snazzy. It might just be me. There's also there is going to be a jump because I spent a very long time on this build because there were parts I would just sit there and be like, what am I going to do here? I don't have the foggiest idea. So I built the house and I furnished the whole thing, and then I gave up for a while I couldn't do the landscaping. I couldn't think of anything. And eventually, when it gets to me landscaping, I still couldn't think of anything to do, and I don't know why. Like normally I have at least some idea of what kind of landscaping I want going on around the house, and I was having the worst time. So I made like this little backyard area that ends up being pretty cute, just all casual. Because I picture a sim that would live here they're the sim. Okay, here's the deal. They would be the sim that just has every collection completed. They're skilled in pretty much everything. They are artsy. They love the outdoors. They just garden everywhere. They probably don't even have a job because you've been playing with a sim for so long that you've maxed out every career. And now you're like, who needs a career? I've already done all of that. Let's just make money with hobbies. Your sim, like, this is your sim's retirement home. They're alone. Their kids have moved out. This just got sad. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. But yeah, they're just here. They're just chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool. There's not a basketball hoop, so they can't shoot any b-ball, and there's also not a school. But, I kept thinking of flowers I really, really wanted when I did the landscaping, and then it would turn out they didn't exist. But for some reason in my head, I was like, no, these flowers exist. I've seen them. And it's like, no, they don't. They don't exist at all. And it was the same thing with, like, wall decorations. I was like, oh, I want this in here. And then it didn't exist. I don't know if I'm just, like, hallucinating Sims content or what's going on with that, but we'll see. And I wanted it to be a really casual, I mean, it's already very casual with the kind of mix and match stuff and whatnot, but I wanted to be casual on the outside too. So there's no, like, defined paths. I used the airbrush and terrain paint to do, like, scattered overgrown gravel walkways and stuff like that, just because, I don't know, this house, I did build it in Brindleton Bay. My goodness. I wonder if you could do that 5 times fast. Brindleton Bay, Brindleton Bay, Brindleton Bay, Brindleton Bay, Brindleton Bay. Okay, that's not as hard as I thought it was going to be. Well, what was I saying? I did build it in Brindleton Bay, and because of the way a lot of the houses are there, especially towards the beach area, where they have the road alongside, but you can't get to it, and the paths, I've talked about this before, I figured this house was very isolated, or that was just what was going on in my mind. But, I mean, you could put it wherever and make it isolated if that's how you feel. But, so I didn't feel like, I don't know. I didn't think this house was like the hangout or anything. It's just a cute little place where some sim lives, and they just have a good old time with their many, many collections. Also, you know what? This is kind of the house where you'd have, like, you could put, like, a terrifying evil vampire sim in it. And then the house is all cute and small. And it's like, oh, look at the house. And then it has a secret, like, giant, terrifying dungeon underneath where there's, like, coffins and gothic architecture and, like, a lot going on. And any sim that happens to wander down there, because, like, oh, I need to use the bathroom, and they happen to use that bathroom, your sim runs down there and locks them in there. Oh, gosh. Well, again, dark. I don't know. I do like this house. I really like it. But it's definitely a step away from what I normally do, a step away from what I normally play in, a step away from what I really like. But I do like it. Just because it's different that I like it too. I don't know. I know this is like the smallest detail, but I really like those flowers around that tree. Look at them. Ooh, girl. Look at those flowers. And you probably noticed before, I tried playing with the sunflowers in front of the house. I had the worst time figuring out what to do with sunflowers, but I found them a place around that bird bath. And it's just perfect. It's great. But the build is coming to an end. The screenshots are going to be rolling soon. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. I really would like to know what you think about the build. I don't know. You can find this build on the gallery at some point today. I know I always say that and then I forget and they don't go up until like a couple days later. But they always end up there. I promise. They always get there. But anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.